What's up? What's up? What's up? It is TTC, aka the ThunderConductor, and we are back for another banging YouTube video and Twitch stream. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, like the video, and why aren't you already ringing the bell? We post content twice a week, and if you're on Twitch, make sure you're following and have the bell ring rung as well. So at that point, you can know when we post our videos. This is what we do. With that being said, I have something really dope for you today. We will be doing a Lonis genetics expert deck tech with one of my favorite brewers and pilots, Kaia. And so with that being said, we're gonna bring him on the stream. But before we bring it on, if you love what we do, we have to tell you about all the ways to support the channel, starting off with our ThunderConductor proxies, where we give you our premium paperback proxies to increase access to this amazing format we call cEDH. Also, we do have our open Discord, but if you want to get deeper access to the Discord as well as additional perks, we have our Patreon. And lastly, if you don't want no Patreon access for all the fun things and you don't really care about ThunderConductor proxies, you just want to be like, yo, TTC, I just want to say I love what you do and just support you a little bit, you can check the link in the bio and buy me a coffee. Link in the bio, and it helps keeps the lights on. So with that being said, I'm going to introduce our guy here. You there, Kaia?
Oh yeah, hi.
What's up?
I'm Kaia. I play cEDH. I'm really not all that interesting, but I enjoy making this deck, and I play it a lot, so it's
cool. With that being said, okay, so this is a new commander it's the Clue edition. The Clue edition. So this is really interesting. So if you all aren't aware, this is a new commander. Lonis had a commander before, if I remember correctly, but basically what it says is, and I'm going to read the commander, but then I want you to go ham, because I'm going to be honest, you the deck tech expert. So we have a Lonis genetics expert. So this is a snake elf detective. Oh my gosh. It is evolve, okay, and that basically says whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, if that creature has greater power or toughness than this creature, put a +1/+1 on this creature. And it says whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on Lonis, investigate that many times. And then we have whenever you sacrifice a clue, put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature you control. So that's a lot. Kaia, can you just break it down for us? Like, let us know, like, what am I reading? Like, come on, talk to me, brother.
Yeah, so this card is incredibly easy to break. It combos with basically every card that either makes it so you can put more counters on it, or a free way to sack clues. So that's mostly just how you break this card.
Okay, see, I can hear you kind of peeking at like some win cons. So can you kind of maybe quickly just break off, like, what is this card combo with?
So this card combos with a few things. For example, any non-legendary clone effect will make it so you can get you can get infinite clues, because they'll get infinite counters but not infinite clues. But you'll be able to sack them to put counters on each other. So
got you.
And then there's like turn lines with Sage of Hours, and you just put all the counters on that, and then you just take as many turns as you think is necessary.
And then before you slide past this, we had a game we played the other day. I was not playing around you. I was respecting the fuck out you, bro. This brother played Sage of Hours, and I read this. I ain't never seen this card ever. It says heroic, whenever you cast a spell that targets Sage of Hours, put a +1/+1 counter on it. But that's not the point. It says remove all +1/+1 counters from Sage of Hours. For each 5 counters removed this way, take an extra turn after this one. And I was like, we're not playing this today. I have never removed a creature so fast in my life. That book was gone. But what I'm seeing from that Sage of Hours is basically that you're able to put counters on it with Lonis, or how do you put the counters on that?
So you put the counters on it mainly with Lonis.
Okay.
Because that's just the easiest way I've found doing it.
Okay.
I was running like hardened skills in this deck to make that even easier, but I just felt like it wasn't necessary.
I hear you.
So
And before we move, like you were brought up, non-legendary clone effects. So I'm seeing Spark Double is one from War of the Spark. We also, I see Sakashima 1,000 Faces because it gets around the legendary rule by, if I'm reading this correctly, the legendary rule doesn't apply to permanents you control because it turns that off.
Yeah.
And are there any other notable clone effects that do something similar?
I'm considering a couple. I was running the Sakashima the Imposter, but I decided to take that one out because Spark Double and Sakashima generally are just better.
Got you.
Because Spark Double enters with a counter on it, so it'll make a clue. And
you're 100% right. Yeah.
And Sakashima can also just copy the other legendaries. For example, Kinnan. So.
Got you. Okay. So we have Spark Double, Sakashima, and actually, how does that combo work? If you don't mind telling me. So you would have Spark Double or Sakashima enter as a copy as Lonis, or how would that work?
Yes, you have it enter as a copy of Lonis, and then I actually said the combo wrong. You'll need a external sack outlet. For example, Extruder or Archdruid Ravager. So you sack the clues for free, and you make both of them infinitely large. So.
Oh wait. So you said Extruder. What is that? Is that an artifact or like a grinding station? I'm guessing a grinding station. Yeah. Oh.
It's a 4/3 for 4 creature. It has Echo.
Okay.
And the only line of text on the card outside of Echo is sacrifice an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. It is the most random bulk uncommon, but it's actually like one of the best cards in this deck. So it's
shit, bro. You can never go wrong with Modern Horizons, apparently. Shit,
yeah,
bro.
That's true.
So if I'm reading this correctly, how the combo goes is you have your clue sack outlet on board. We'll use Extruder as an example, or I'm guessing I saw grinding station as well,
and that
yeah, we have grinding station as well. And once you have those pieces, you can cast your clone effect that will come in as a copy of Lonis. And so once that clone effect comes in, it would evolve. Would it evolve whenever a creature, or how like once the clone effect lands, what happens next?
So with Extruder, you don't actually need a clone effect because it can put the counters on one itself. So, but for Archdruid Ravager, you will need a clone effect.
Got you, because so it's basically a 1-card combo with Extruder.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. That's fucking dope. Okay, so you got the counters, you put the infinite counters on it, and now that you have the infinite counters on Lonis, what do you do now?
I mean, the best way that I've found is just hit people with it. It just works.
I'm not bad at that. At least like you overthinking this TTC. Like you fucking hit people.
Yeah, and with Extruder, because Lonis also puts counters on other stuff, you make all your creatures infinitely large.
Oh.
So yeah.
Okay. And I guess they just don't have to have summoning sickness at that point, correct?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was running Concordant Crossroads just to work around that, but that card's not great. So yeah, I just figured it was better to wait.
And if everyone's not familiar with Concordant Crossroads, it is basically a 1-mana. Oh, not Card Kingdom. Nothing against y'all, but I love Scryfall. Basically, it's a 1-mana world enchantment. And it says all creatures have haste. So it's nice and simple. It just gets the job done. Okay, so I'm feeling this. So we win by doing infinite counters, using either these clone effects or the Extruder. Do we have any other? Keep talking to me about win cons, brother.
Yeah, so there is a few infinite mana outlets. For example, Forensic Gadgeteer and Kinnan with Basalt Monolith. Yes. Yeah, and then there's Walking Ballista, so that you can, once you either have infinite clues and a way to tap them for mana, or some other infinite mana outlet, you can either cast your whole deck with Urza, or flip with Kinnan, or you can just Walking Ballista for as much as you need.
And I'm also seeing you have Thrasios as well as an outlet as well.
Yeah.
Wow. So with And sheesh, if you're able to I'm wondering if you are running Agatha Soul Conjuring, so you can do infinite activations of Kinnan. Wow, this is very well thought out. And this is another new card, if you all are not aware. Forensic Gazetteer is another combo piece with Walking Ballista. How it works is it says whenever you cast an artifact spell, investigate, that means create a clue token, and it says activated abilities of artifacts you control cost 1 less to activate. This can reduce the mana in this effect can reduce the mana in that cost to less than 1 mana. So basically the gist of it is like you just tap Walking Ballista for 3. You tap Assault Monolith for 3, untap it for 2, and then make infinite colorless mana. And as we've already said, we have these amazing outlets to make that happen, where you can either cast all the spells in your deck with Urza, ping everybody with Walking Ballista, or draw your entire deck with Thrasios.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, that's fire.
Moving back to the hitting people with creatures plan.
Yes.
There's actually another new card from the clue set, Senator Peacock.
Oh, talk to me.
It makes all your clues artifacts into the addition to their other costs. So if I make treasures with Academy Manufactor, they also function as clues. So when I sack a treasure, it puts another counter on something.
Whoa,
so
yeah, because it said Senator Peacock says artifacts you control are clues in addition to other types, and have 2 sacrifice this artifact to draw a card. Whenever you sacrifice a target creature can't be. Wow. So at this point, this gets around the effect because they can't be blocked. At this point, they don't need trample. Of course, you're probably running Finale. Okay, if you have infinite mana, you can do Finale. Well, Finale doesn't give trample, it gives haste. But neither here nor there.
Yeah.
The intention is there. Okay, cool. All right, so we have infinite mana generators. We have infinite creature beats generators. Like, are there anything else that really is any other win cons?
Not really. If you have enough clues, you can use the old Lonis to sack them all to get any permanent card from an opponent's library. So that's sometimes you can just win with that.
Well, wait, so say that again. So you can get any permanent card from a library using which card again?
If you use the old Lonis, Cryptozoologist, you can tap and sack all your clues, have your opponent reveal essentially their entire library, and you just take a non-land permanent and put it into play under your control.
And a lot of times I'm guessing you can grab their win cons or whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Like
sometimes, like if your deck is basically empty, you can just grab someone Stoss's Oracle
and just win. Oh my gosh. Have you had the chance to do that yet, or have you used Lonis Cryptozoologist to do anything spicy?
I stole someone's Sporting Broodlord yesterday, actually. So that was definitely fun, but yeah.
That'll do it. In addition, I'm guessing if their library is does this empty their library or just shovel on everything?
It shovels it back, but if you just take their main win con, there's a lot of decks, especially like Roxai and that type of thing, they just can't really do anything. So it's
right. Once you take that main win line, it's kind of over at that point. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense. So we win with infinite mana. We got the infinite creature beats and all that cool stuff. To make all this happen, though, we got to be able to tutor. We in cEDH. So I'm seeing a lot of great tutors. Like I'm seeing Invasion of Ikoria. We have Tezzeret the Seeker. Can you talk to me about our tutor package?
Yeah, so we've got Invasion of Ikoria, because that can get either Arcbound Ravager or just straight up get Extruder if you're wanting to go for it. And we've also got Transmute Artifact to get Extruder or Walking Ballista.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, and then there's Eldritch Ev and Green Sun Zenith, just to get either Green Suns is usually for Jaheira, and you can Eldritch Ev your commander to get Senator Peacock out. So
and Jaheira does choose tokens you control have tap aggro. Does this allow you to turn your clue tokens into? Yeah,
and with Jaheira / Urza and Forensic Gazetteer, since clues don't have to sack to tap to draw. Since clues don't have to tap to use their main ability to draw a card, you can tap it for 1 and since it's reduced by Forensic Gadgeteer, you can essentially instantly crack any of your clues because you can just tap them for a color and then sack them.
Oh shit, that's
So,
fire as hell,
yeah.
man. Oh, so and that at that point you tap them to sack to draw more cards, and that goes
Yeah.
pretty much infinite if you already have infinite clues at that point, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, you just
Yep.
draw your library and you win. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got the Eldritch, as you said, Finale, and the green and the Transmute. And I see you're running the new tutor, Archdruid's Charm. How's that been for you?
I think this card is really good. I think this card's great, especially in like a 2-color deck.
Yeah.
Because you can either get whatever since it's like so versatile, you can like hit people's 1-rings with it because exile. You can put more counters on to remove creatures.
Yeah.
You can tutor for a land to get like Urza Saga to get an artifact you need, like yeah. And then there's also it's also removable, so it's great.
It doesn't hurt. With this 1 ring right now, I see the word exile and I get fucking happy. Shit.
Yep.
And you've already said this, but you said put a +1/+1 target creature you control. It deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. I wish that said creature or player, because then theoretically you could kill somebody targeted with Lonis when it has infinite counters. But you can't get everything. Okay.
I'm also running a Court of Calling and then Mystical and Worldly Tutor.
Got you. Can't go wrong with it. Come on now.
Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong. Okay. And I don't think that's all the tutors we're seeing. Okay. We'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, I'm seeing everything looks good. And with that being said, like I think that's all the tutors. We also have an Inventor's Fair. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
We have the Inventor's Fair as another tutor. You have so many artifacts on your board. Being able to pay for and find any artifact, I'm guessing it would be your extruder just to get the job done. Yeah, nice, good.
Or depending on the situation, you can also just get Grinding Station.
Because how that works is you would tap it, sack one of the clues, and put a +1/+1 counter on something to make another clue.
Yeah, so it works best when you already have extruder or another way to make infinite clues, and then you just keep sacking them.
Right.
And with the trigger on the stack, you make another one, untab it, and you just melt people out.
Oh shit! Yeah, no, that's it. Pass turn. Oh yeah. With that being said, like before we go into card draw engines, because that's what I want to ask about next. You're not running any wheels now. I love this because I don't like wheels. But why are you choosing not to run any of your wheels like Time Twister or anything along that line?
This might seem crazy. I don't think they're good. I
know it's not. I don't like wheels either, bro.
I don't think they're good cards. It's just
if you're not trying to do a breach strategy or you're not like Rockside, bro, I stand by that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a fan of wheels either. I just didn't want to push that on you, brother. Like a cat, but I'm not mad at you.
I like them.
Yeah.
Also, this deck just kind of has enough card draw with the function of it itself being clues, so I don't have to run that many outside of that. But yeah.
Nah, I feel that. Like, how often do you see your it basically says, whenever one of our +1/+1s are putting on Lonis, you get to investigate that many times. And so how often is Lonis used as that card draw engine where you can basically keep hands full of mana to get an early turn 1, turn 2 Lonis out and use the clues as draw engines? How is that?
It happens a lot, especially considering that Julas, you can just cast Lonis because the mana pips are hybrid.
Yes.
It's really, really easy to keep a hand with a bunch of mana and then just have Lonis on board, and you can just draw into whatever you need.
No, I love that is I really do love that. We have Fatal Gaming. First of all, what's up, Fatal? We have Fatal Gaming asking what's the theme. So we're talking about Lonis Genetics Expert. And the point about it is it just is a broken Simic commander, and basically we just basically letting Kinnan know that there's a new sheriff in town. But it basically goes infinite with things like Extruder and Spark Double and Sakashima. It has a lot of infinite mana outlets. And now that we're actually talking about it, I think we accidentally skipped over as an infinite mana outlet Isochron Scepter Dramatic Versal as another infinite mana generator to get the job done too. And you have some really dope outlets like Walking Ballista, Urza, and Thrasios, and also Kinnan. And if you're able to do that, you basically, it's just imagine if you were playing Kinnan, but you have card draw in the command zone. So not bad. But we're talking about card draw now. So we're basically seeing that you're letting me know the card draw is good in the command zone. It's solid. How do you feel about the card draw in comparison to like not to compare you to the GOATs, but like a T and K, for example? Like, how consistent is the card draw, knowing you have to pay mana for it?
I think it's pretty consistent because I'm running sources outside of just clues to draw cards. Like, I'm running Ristic and Mystic. Obviously, they're just two of the best blue cards in the format right now.
Period.
And just full stop. But I feel like I find myself having like extra mana because mana cost of this deck is not that high. So I find myself having a bunch, like, especially like later into the game, you just have extra mana to crack clues with. So it's
yeah. And I'm seeing your artifact package. You are stacked, my guy. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot in here. You're not worried about mana at all. You're even running Mox Amber because you can get your commander out so easily. So yeah. And for card draw, so I'm seeing the One Ring. Of course, we already talked about Ristic and Mystic. I love that you have the One Ring. You cannot go wrong with it. Any other notable ones that really?
Clan Crafter. It's an enchantment. Commander creatures you have 2 sack an artifact, put a counter on it, and draw a card.
Shit. Okay.
So it essentially makes it so you have reusable clue tokens because you sack a clue, draw a card, and then put another, make another clue. So and then it also gets around stuff like Null Rod because you're not cracking the clues, you're using Lonis to do it. So it's
because it's a creature ability at that point.
Yes.
Oh, that's fucking dope.
So
oh my gosh. We have Fatal Gaming says you might want to add Deep Glow Skate if you can cheat it in for Thras or for what is that THSO +1/+1 counters. What
those? I think
for those +1. Oh, I see what you're saying. What is deep? I've never seen Deep Glow Skate.
It ETB doubles the amount of counters on something. At least that's what I remember. But it's also like 5 mana, so it's a little
tough. I see what you're saying. So Deep Glow Skate, creature fish, when Deep Glow Skate enters the battlefield, double the number of each kind of counter of any number on target permanents. Okay, it's a little tough. Did you consider this one at any time, and whether it was yes or no? How do you feel about Deep Glow?
I think if I was wanting to run something that's 5 mana to do that, I'm just gonna run Doubling Season. I see. It's just a better card because it doubles the counters and it doubles the clues. So it'll turn one counter into 4 clues.
True.
So
true.
Yeah.
I remember in our game that you actually played a Doubling Season. I quickly, once again, respecting your deck,
got balanced.
I overloaded a Psych Rift so fast. I was like, and the table did not even fight over. I was like, y'all, I'm not about to sit here and fucking play with this man, bro. We not about to act like he ain't got no shenanigans going on. But actually, I'm not seeing a Doubling Season in the deck anymore. So
I ended up taking it out because I felt like it was better because it felt like kind of just a win more card in a lot of instances.
I hear you.
So,
I hear you.
Yeah. Okay. I took it out for Transmute Artifact.
Oh, easy easy switch out. Yeah. No, that switch out is happening yesterday, all day, every day.
Yeah. So and
we got Fatal saying I don't run green in my deck, so it's a real good option because of the ETBs. What deck do you use your card in Fatal Gaming? Let us know in the chat. But while you're putting that, card draw engines, we got to finish that off. So of course you've brought up Mystic, your commander, Crack Clan Crafter, which I fucking love. I really love that. I'm not even gonna cap to you.
Yeah.
And we've already talked about the One Ring. Is there any other draw engines that we're missing? Or card advantage
not really.
in general? You got Thrasios,
card
of
advantage.
course.
Yeah, there's Thrasios, of course, everyone's favorite Simic card.
Can't go wrong with it.
Tezzeret is kind of a really good card in this deck, because you can either like +1 it to untap your One Ring and something else. You can -4 it instantly to find Extruder or One Ring, and if you manage to get up to 5, you can turn all your clues into creatures. So
right. That's a thing. I got you. So I'm guessing that's another hidden win con if you
it doesn't come up as much though.
Yeah, I'm guessing because it takes 2 turns. Because it will probably take 2 turns to activate. I got you. Okay, that makes sense. So, with that being said, when we talking about untapping, I'm not seeing a Seaborn used. How would you describe this deck's archetype? Is this grindy mid-range, more turbo? Like, I'm not seeing any Stax pieces other than Mango Horn. So how would you describe this deck?
I'd say it's somewhere between turbo and mid-range.
Okay.
It can either be it really depends on what you're trying to game. Like, you can definitely go like a turbo strategy, as I've done before. You can win on like relatively easily.
Right.
So it's
getting those turn 1 and turn 2 wins are just pretty simple at that point if you get the gas hand.
Yeah, because Forensic Gadgeteer and Basalt Monolith and Walking Ballista is 3 mana total, and you just win. So it's
that's fucking true.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you play the Basalt.
Yes. Play Basalt and then a land. Or it's basically 3 mana total because you can do it over and people realistically won't remove Gadgeteer because people don't know what this card does yet.
Oh yeah. They don't see the potential yet. Nah, yeah.
Yeah.
I realized recently Eisenhertz is another YouTuber. He released a video on Forensic Gadgeteer, basically saying that it's what Urge has been needing forever. And so like I know the mono blue decks are loving this. Of course, sadly, Kinnan already has it in the command zone, so this is not an inclusion for them. But it's a great card. I love that. Okay, so go ahead.
I think Kinnan should be running this card anyways, because if you're also running it, it can make Grim Monolith also an infinite mana outlet.
True.
So, yeah.
Okay. My thought process, I'm going to push back because I want to hear what you think about this. They're already running Nyxbloom Ancient, which kind of makes Grim Monolith already a infinite mana outlet and plus fits the big flips Kinnan energy. So how would you feel like would this be kind of win more? How do you think about that in the fact of Nyxbloom Ancient art fits the synergy of the deck? It allows you to just do stupid shit with your mana rocks already, with Kinnan already making a bunch of mana, and Forensic Gadgeteer. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm spending 7 mana to hit Forensic Gadgeteer, and at this point, if I'm flipping into it, I already have Kinnan on board, so it's not really helping me with the Basalt.
I mean, it really just, it depends on the situation, right? So you would much rather have the Gadgeteer in hand. You would feel much better drawing into that than drawing into the Nyxbloom Ancient. Because 7 mana is kind of crazy.
Well, Kinnan,
even in a Kinnan
deck,
have
the mana doubler, but neither here nor there. That is a lot of mana. That's a lot of mana.
Still a lot of mana.
Yeah, granted, Kinnan does make a stupid amount of mana, but I do hear you. 3 is a lot easier than 7.
It's also the fact that it takes 3 green pips. So, that's...
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, okay, so we've talked about win cons, we've talked about tutors to get the win cons, and we've also talked about the card draw. But now talk to me, we've got to defend ourselves and we got to be able to interact. So first tell me about your board protection and your player protection, things that protect you, your board, and the spells in the stack for you.
So I'm running the Ozolith because if Lonis gets removed, it's honestly kind of a good thing because you just put all the... Because Ozolith says leaves the battlefield, so if it gets Psych Rifted, bounced, whatever,
yes,
it'll still get the counters onto the Ozolith. and you can just replay it, make as many clues as it had counters again, and then just, yeah.
Your board is just untouched at that point.
Pretty much.
Oh shit, that's a good one. Okay. Anything else? Like I'm seeing a Soul Cleaver in here. Is this a protection piece or?
Oh, what did you say?
No, Tarian Soul Cleaver. I'm looking at this. I was wondering if this was a protection spell, but continue. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
It's not really a protection piece. It's basically just to make more counters onto Lonis. Because sacking the clue puts more counters on it again, so it also gives it vigilance, which is pretty good.
Okay.
Once you're on the beats plan, so it's
cool. Any other protection pieces?
Not really. I haven't really found a need for them, so it's.
Okay, like of course I do see a Veil of Summer, but I'm guessing you're more using that to protect your. Well, no, there we got Veil of Summer, and we got a little recovery with the Noxious Revival. Of course, we have a great counter spell suite. You cannot go wrong with the included bunch. Let's see, nothing really else. Like you got the Mango Horn in there. You trying to not stacks the table, but you say, hey, like we can slow things down a tad bit. And you got Gilded Drake to, be Gilded Drake and stuff. And we also do have, I see a Delighted Halfling. Make your Lonis uncountable, or even your Kinnan, or your other Lonis, or even your Thrasios or Urza uncounterable. That's good. Okay. Now, our interaction package. Talk to me about that.
It's mostly just all the basic interaction, like both forces, Flusterstorm, Cycrypt, Fierce, Mana Drain.
Got you.
I'm also running like actually I think I cut it, but I was running I'm trying to remember the name of the card now, but
good dog.
I forgot. But I was running a couple more counter spells, but I didn't think it was too necessary. So.
No, I feel what you're saying. Like I do personally enjoy like a good control package. It's funny, like I love a high density of control and interactive spells. Like one of my favorite interactive spells, even if you're not playing hard control and you're just playing mid range, is Trickbind. And the reason I've been recommending every non-red deck to run Trickbind if they're in blue, because right now we're in the channel meta. We're in this mid-range meta, but everyone's trying to channel, and whether it's both Seiju, it's Otawara, it's Touch the Spirit Realm, it's Twin Shot Sniper. Everyone is running these channel effects that cannot be countered, and have, even though it's 2 mana, being able to both use it defensively to prevent your things from being bounced or destroyed from these channel effects, or offensively to say, no, you're not going to win Sese, or no, you're not going to win, you're not going to make 40 treasures off your dock side because I have 40 clues that I can't crack right now. It's a really flexible spell, and it's a 2 mana interactive spell, but I definitely will run it like for me, and I'm just gonna throw this in there. How does this spell run for you? Because I have a love-hate relationship with this spell.
I think it's good. It hasn't done me wrong yet, so it's gonna stay in there. But it especially like at 1 mana, it's still pretty good. Like, it's not better than an offer you can't refuse, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it's still it's pretty good for 1 mana.
I hear that. Yeah. I've had a lot of. It's funny you brought up an offer you can't refuse, because I've had conversations about I've had people who literally like swear like offer is a terrible counter spell. I'm looking like, no, it hits any non-creature spell. Like, you got to know how to use. It's like a wheel. You don't just fire off a wheel anytime. Like, an offer you can't refuse. Okay, look, if Kinnan is trying to combo off and your only point of interaction is offer, you don't give them 2 treasures to keep comboing. Like, okay, you're probably gonna lead off with another counter spell, or let offer either be the first counter spell to hit the Basalt Monolith so they never get the treasures, or because they're going to protect the Basalt Monolith, or you let it be the very last counter spell where, like, at that point, the 2 treasures they get is insignificant and pointless, even if they make 4 mana off of it, with Kinnan on board or some junk like that. But my toughest thing with this spell I've had is I have passed turn with 1 blue mana up, and this spell is in my hand. And one of the hardest things for me to accept is when I'm literally sitting there and I lose to a creature combo. Not because I didn't counter their Whirly Tutor. Like, no. they just never cast any legal spells. Even the most frustrating thing for me is the sorceries, dude. Like, that is so tough for me to be like, yo, at least like if it's a non-creature spell I could touch it, but no, it's only instant. So it's a really tough spell. Like, a lot of people still swear to it, but it is a really tough spell. But I'm not gonna argue off this cliff. As long as it works for you, you good. Go ahead, brother.
I'm actually I remember the card that I took out. It was Tail's End.
Tail's End, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It can hit commanders and it also hits the activated abilities like Dogfly that you don't like. So it's pretty good.
You said Tail's End, like TALE
apostrophe S end.
Oh, like a story tale. Tail's End.
Yeah.
Oh. Counter target activated ability, triggered ability, or legendary spell. Okay. This one is I like this because it hits all commanders. So if you want to be that guy, you can hit all commanders. The only thing and this is the reason why I enjoy Trickbind, I will say that split second ability from Trickbind just cannot be underestimated. Basically shutting down anything being added on the stack until the spell removes is just fucking dope. But at the end of the day, it hits creatures, it still stops activated and triggers abilities, and so there will always be a legal target. So I'm not mad at that. I think this is something, if you all liked it in the audience, I would say think about this one. We have Fatal saying, after this, if you could take a look and rate my deck as is, that'd be great. Yeah, send it to me on Instagram. And we also got Fatal saying, I like failure and comply. That's a spell. Yeah, failure, comply, all that.
That's definitely one of the spells.
Yeah, this one, it has that white color identity, but I do like it basically has a remand attached to it where it return target spell to the owner's hand, which is cool. And then the comply, choose a card name, and until your next turn, your opponents can't cast a spell with chosen name. So it basically stops them from doing the thing. So if I'm playing a heavy control deck, I would consider this spell. Okay, but back to the deck tech, brother. Let's talk. So we got that's the wrong deck. We got a great interactive package. I definitely pulled up the wrong deck. I'm seeing. We didn't even talk about World of Invention as a tutor, but it's another tutor, great artifact tutor. But I'm seeing Veil of Slumber, Pongify. I like seeing that. I don't see any downside to giving someone a 3/3 because with the size of your commander, he starts out as a 2/2 and then a 1/2 and then grows into crazy sizes and stuff. So that's great. Let's see. You also have for interaction, I'm seeing animation module is not a piece of interaction. I guess grinding station allows you to mill people. That's good. Noxious revival, great free interaction there. You've talked about your basic counter suite already. I'm so glad you're running mana drain. I think this is such a great counter spell because it's even a ramp spell. I love mana drain. Like, I know I'm a mono red player, but this is such a great ritual spell. Psych Rift, can't go wrong with it. Archmage's Charm, we've already talked about that. Offer you can't refuse, very good. Walking Ballista if you want it to be an interactive spell, and Mango Horn, there's some removal. Gilded Drake, it's cool. All right, now this is a good interactive deck. Ooh, Oko Thief of Crowns. Talk to me about this inclusion right here, brother. Ooh, we lost Kaia. Hold on one second. All right, so we lost Kaia for a second. But I'm going to read off Oko Thief of Crowns real quick. All right. All right. Okay, so Oko Thief of Crowns is an interesting include in my opinion, because it is very interesting because it is a hard removal for. It's all good, boy. It's all good. It's an interesting piece because it says +2 create a food token. It's and basically you make them basically pay to sack it, gain 3 life. And we have a +1 target artifact or creature loses all abilities and becomes a green elk creature with base power and toughness 3/3. And so basically it can either hit a commander or the infamous One Ring and just shut the entire deck down. And so like shut either the deck down, the One Ring down, and also has this ability to exchange control of target artifact or creature you control and target creature an opponent controls with power 3 or less, which is cool. Like I've never ultimated the ultimate ability, but it shuts down a One Ring in commander. When Kaia gets back, I'd like to get his opinion on it, because with him being more like turbo mid-range, I usually don't see this inclusion in those decks, but it being able to really shut a deck down if they're completely commander centric and or hit the One Ring, which is really popular, is just super powerful. So we got Josh O saying, what's up, Josh? We got Josh O saying, what you brewing now? So Josh O, we are doing a deck tech on Lonis Genetics Expert. This is not my personal brew. This is Kaia's brew, one of my friends on Discord. We met through the cEDH server, and so basically it's a crazy like another Simic broken commander, because obviously Simic needed another card that's broken for some reason, and it combos with cards like Extruder, basically. It combos with cards like Spark Double and Sakashima, and the reason it combos is because the first ability is Evolve. You're already familiar with that. It says whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, if that creature has greater power toughness than this creature, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. And that's important because this says whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on Lonis, investigate that many times. Investigate, as you know, make clue tokens, okay? And then the last part, it says whenever you sacrifice a clue token, so it's rewarding you for drawing cards, which is busted. It says put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature you control. And so they were really smart in making sure you couldn't say put a +1/+1 counter on a creature, because now with infinite mana, you can sack a clue, put a +1/+1 counter on Lonis to make another clue, sack the clue, and repeat, wish, watch, repeat to draw your entire library. However, that's where these clone effects come in, because with the clone effects that get around the legendary rule, for example, like Spark Double and or the Sakashima, they can come in as copies as Lonis, and then when that ability that says another creature, you'll go, I'm gonna put the original Lonis triggers, and I'll put a +1/+1 counter on the copy Lonis. Copy Lonis, and then you sack another clue. Copy Lonis. Well, no. Let me make sure this right. Original Lonis triggers, put a counter on copy Lonis, and then when the copy Lonis triggers, it will get whenever one more +1/+1 counters. You'll put another clue token onto the battlefield, and then you'll sack that clue, and then put another counter on the original Lonis, and rinse, watch, repeat. You draw your entire deck, and you draw your whole deck, and you basically just can kill people with these theoretically infinitely large Lonis. They don't get infinite size, but they get super big. And so with that gist of it, it's a great commander. It's funny, when I met Kaia, we just met, and it was a thing where like I literally was just looking at this deck. Looking at the commander earlier that day, and so it was so effing dope that we were able just to synergize on that. But while we're waiting for Kaia to get back, I want to go through a couple other things. Hold on one second. You back, Kaia?
Yeah, I am.
We back. Let's get it. Okay. Cool.
Decided this was the perfect time to restart my router, so
it's okay, bro. It is completely fine. We just got done talking about removal and interaction, and actually that kind of leads into the Stax. Outside of Manglehorn, I'm seeing blatantly, and I count these as Stax pieces, Ristic Study and Mystic Remora. Do you have any other notable Stax pieces in this deck that you want to talk about?
There really isn't any. They're not really necessary. So
Got you.
Yeah.
Not for you, dog. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. If your deck went on turn 2, I have nothing to complain about at that point.
Yeah.
With that being said, talk to me about some of the ramp in this deck. I'm seeing a lot of mana dorks. I'm seeing a lot of we got untappers and so much stuff. So talk to me about your overall ramp package in this deck.
Yeah, so it's mostly Mana Rocks and Mana Dorks is where it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I didn't feel the need to put too much because Jaheira and Urza both let your clues tap for mana. So
Got you.
yeah. So since it essentially functions as another land because
Mm-hmm.
they don't need to tap to sack. They don't need to tap when you're trying to draw a card with them. So you can tap them for mana, and then at a later point, if you need to, you can still draw a card with them. So
Got you.
yeah,
No, that makes sense. I'm also seeing the inclusion of Clark Clan Ironworks and the exclusion of Grim Monolith. Talk to me about that, brother.
yeah. Clark Clan Ironworks. There's with Clancrafter specifically, you can use you can or let me think of. I remember how to do this. I'm a little bit tired, so it's like
It's okay.
hard to
It's okay,
remember,
brother.
but
Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Yeah. Just take your time.
yeah.
Take your time, brother.
Yeah, so Clark Clan, you can stack clues to it to
Mm-hmm.
essentially make more clues because with a lot of the cards, there you can just use that mana to do something that'll put counters somewhere or
Even
something of that sort.
You know what? I realize how big brain this is because sacking the artifact gives you 2 colors mana. Say if you have, I'd say 20 clues, that's basically you draw 10 cards. Because you
Yeah,
sack a clue to draw, you use 2 clues in order to see, what is
Yeah.
that? To see 1 card, which since your
Yeah.
commander is making you have so many counter synergies. Oh, that's really good in your deck. Oh shit. Yeah, no, this is a powerhouse in
Yeah.
your deck.
yeah.
Oh,
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Okay, I'm not mad at that. And
Yeah.
you brought up earlier Grim Monolith being how you say, a possible combo piece if you have Kinnan and Forensic Gadgeteer on board. Talk
Yeah.
to me about that and the choice to not include Grim Monolith in this brew.
Okay, so I feel like that's a good option if Kinnan is your commander. The reason I'm not doing it is because it's a 3-card combo that I probably won't assemble very often.
Understood. Yeah.
Because most of the combos in this deck are like 1-card combos with the commander or 2-card with the commander.
Right.
But it's 3 cards that I would either have to draw into or tutor for.
Got you.
So
got you.
Yeah, I just don't feel like it's really necessary,
I hear
especially
that.
when both of them combo with Basalt by itself. So it's
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
100%. I definitely hear you there. We got a question from Josh O. What ways does he have to tutor for that artifact? And I'm guessing you mean Clark Clan Artworks, but Josh,
Yeah.
so we actually have a lot of tutors for artifacts in general. Starting from, of course, for baby artifacts, we have Urza Saga. We also have Inventor's Fair. Because of the amount of clues we're making, we can leverage the clues in order to get more, in order to tap for and then search your library for any artifact. We also have everything for World of Invention. We have Transmute Artifact, and we also have the good old Tezzeret the Seeker. Did I miss any artifact tutors, Kaia?
Not that I don't think you missed any. I wish Archdruid's charms could get them, but they can't. So
See, you try to give Green too much. Be happy Green got a card. You try to give Green too much.
That's true. That's true.
Green got a good card. Come on now. Like, hey y'all,
Yeah.
simmer down. I'm just No, I like if we could just come back to this Archdruid's charm one more time. Like let this in my opinion, I wish it wasn't triple green because I would honestly want to run this in my new Tasker brew. The ability to search for any land card, any creature card, reveal it, and then if it's a land, put it onto the battlefield tapped. So you're saying basically it's a better crop rotation, if I can be completely honest.
Yeah.
Not to mention it has synergy in your commander with putting a +1/+1 counter, so it has double removal because your deck makes so many ways to make your commander huge. Basically, it's removal for creatures and it's an exile effect for artifacts and enchantments. So goodbye Ristic Study forever and goodbye.
It's the One Ring.
Bro.
It's so good.
This card is crazy. And I'm be fully transparent. If you're in 1 to 2 colors and including green, I don't know why you wouldn't run this. In my full opinion, I think this is a cracked card. Like, you kind of told us a little bit earlier, like, what are some use cases you've had for Archdruid's Charm,
I mean,
bro?
it can function as a good tutor. It can get, or I wish the getting a land was that you may put it into place with get like the Sage out of Wara, but
Oh yeah, I hear you.
yeah, it can also get Academy ruins to get back artifacts,
Okay.
and it like the putting counters and stuff, basically just removal, and hitting, and it's basically removal or a tutor, really just whatever you need it to be in the moment.
Yeah, and you with the bringing up of Academy ruins, like we just touch on your land base real quick. I'm seeing of course a traditional cEDH land base. We got the notable bring ups is Boseiju, Cavern of Souls is great. I'm guessing to support your creature combos. We got the 5-color lands, multicolor lands, just to support your mana base. We have a Dryad Arbor. Now I'm guessing you are running Court of Callings and also Green Sun Zenith. So is that just to have the ramp potential, or is there other combos with Dryad Arbor?
It's mostly just the ramp potential. I think this card's good. I don't know.
I'm not. I'd like you to talk to me. So I want you to convince the crowd. I love it, but you got to convince the rest of the people. Talk to me, brother.
Yo, it makes Green Sun Zenith basically just another land drop. It makes you can funnel into Court of Calling for mana as and then there's also like you can make it big with Lonis as another creature to hit people with. It's
very true. Oh, you're right, because when you do your infinite counters, you can use this land drop as another creature that can be infinitely large to kill the table. That's really good. And also, now that I think about it, when you do infinite activations of Kinnan as well, it's not it's a forest dryad, it's not a human. So you hit on this as well, and now you just because if you do Finale of Devastation, you just make everything have haste, and this is another creature. I love that 100%. Okay, I'm convinced. I hope the audience is convinced as well. I'm convinced. I love this. Gemstone Caverns, of course. Come on now, we're turbo. We've already talked about Academy ruins. How often are you finding that this is being that savior piece for you?
It happens a lot.
Talk to me.
Like, if there's a board, it can hit so many things in this deck. It can get back your Extruder, you can get back Academy Manufacturer, you can get back, you can get back Jewel Lotus if you need to cast your commander again. You can, it's great.
I hear what you're saying, And actually, you brought up Academy Manufacturer, but we completely went past Animation Module. Now, what is this card? What's the reason for this card's inclusion? It says whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on a permanent you control, you can pay 1. If you do, you create a 1/1 serval artifact creature token, and you could pay 3 to tap it to put a counter. Choose a counter on target permanent or player. Give that permanent or player another counter of that kind. Talk to me about this.
So a lot of the times when you're making infinite clues, you'll also end up making infinite mana just because it just kind of happened.
Right.
So it essentially also makes you have infinite creatures. So you essentially have an infinitely large board with infinite creatures on it, because you can just keep putting counters on the you put a counter on the new creature, and then you can pay 1 to put a counter and make a new creature, put a counter on that creature. So,
that's fucking disgusting.
You can also, if they have haste from like Finale or something, you can tap those for green mana or blue mana. So,
Oh, that's disgusting. So this is Simic Storm almost at that point. I got you.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. So Academy we have the Academy ruins is just goated at that point. Nothing else too crazy in the land base. We got Waterlogged Grove. Got a little more card draw we didn't get to talk about. Otawara, can't leave home without it. I love Urza Saga, especially because you have some good targets from the Ozolith, of course, Soul Ring, your other mana rocks, but you
Soul Cleaver is also a good one.
Yeah, you said what?
Soul Cleaver and Animation Module are 2 more that are really good.
Yeah, we got Animation Module and Soul Cleaver. So I want to talk about 2 cards. Soul Cleaver, you said this is just good for synergy with your commander. Talk to me a little bit more about that.
So you can either put it on your commander, so essentially whenever you sack a clue, you get 2 more. it essentially gives you infinite, well, not infinite, but it makes you have more clues than you'll need, because you sack one clue and then it'll put a counter on it because it saw a clue hit the graveyard, and it'll put another counter on this to make another clue. So yeah, and then you can put it on other creatures to give, like I've put it on Sage of Hours and sacked a bunch of clues to make more turns. So it's, yeah, it.
Got you. No, that makes a, yeah. It's a super value piece, damn near. It's a not a infinite combo, but like a non-deterministic in some cases, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can also put it on a Walking Ballista if you don't have infinite mana when you cast it, so you can like sack clues to making walking. And essentially, it functions as basically a Mayhem Devil if you put it on Walking Ballista.
So because this says whenever another artifact creature is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on equipped creature. And Walking Ballista says remove, when you put the counter on Walking Ballista, you can remove it to do a damage to any target. That's really good. That's really good. And I'm guessing you can do, well, no, a lot of this doesn't work like that. But yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
We didn't have a chance to talk about animation module. Talk to me about this.
This card is just, it combos
Academy
with
Manufacturer, by the way.
Yeah, Academy Manufacturer. With Senator Peacock out, you can tap your treasures for mana, and then Senator Peacock, and it makes you infinite. It makes you can draw your deck infinite life and infinite mana, because because you tap your treasure, but since it's also a clue, you make and you have Lonis, you can make another one. So you can keep stacking them to make more stuff.
Yeah.
So you can draw your deck like that.
Oh my gosh. And that's only, what, 6 mana? Oh, no. Senator Peacock is expensive. Oh my gosh. This is it's 5 mana. Okay, it's a 5 mana card, but you can get this one out pretty early. And then when you're ready to win, just drop the Academy Manufacturer and then pull off the win con at that point.
There's another card that I was thinking of running, but it's not in it right now. It's a Nuka-Cola vending machine. From the Fallout set. It's
Hold on, vending machine. I love Magic the Gathering. Nuka. Oh my gosh, I love this. Pay 1, tap, create a food, and whenever you sacrifice a food, create a tapped treasure token. So, talk to me.
You can't. I have. Give me 1 sec. So with it combos with the Academy Manufacturer, Grinding State. It combos with basically any free sack outlet. Because with you can, with Nuka-Cola Vending Machine, Grinding Station, and Academy Manufacturer, you can activate Grinding Station, tap it, sack a food. It'll trigger, make a tap treasure, and then a clue and a food because of the manufacturer, and then you can, and then you'll have 3 Grinding Station triggers, and you can just mill people out with that, and then
Okay. That's a lengthy combo, but I think with the amount of card draw that you've already kind of talked about, it's kind of crazy that at the point once you draw your deck, you can win with any kind of combo you fucking want. We have a question from Joshua. Statement. This is my problem I have with this kind of decks. It requires you have like 4 different cards on board to do one cool thing. Why not focus on 2 or 3 lines and different ways to get the lines? Not throwing shade, just asking. It's one of the reasons I am sketch on running Delney and Gina. I'm gonna try it out, but it feels like so much win more. So go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
The reason I'm running so many separate win lines is in case something happens to it, you always have a backup.
Right.
Because even though it seems like I'm talking about a bunch of separate lines, they're all based around Lonis. So
got you.
I'm making it sound like it's a lot of cards. It's not.
Yeah.
You're good. Especially with the amount of like tutors and stuff in this deck, it's
right.
really easy to assemble these.
Yeah.
And the best part about them is most of them you can win without casting a spell.
100%.
So they get around rule of law effects and that type of thing. So yeah, because with like the extruder lines, you can make as many clues as you need, and then you can just hit people. This deck is meant to get around Stax. Is the main reason that it has so many options.
So you basically at that point with leveraging tutors and other effects are looking to sculpt the perfect win for whatever situation you put in, whether it's I'm going to win on turn 1 or turn 2 because I just have a window to go turbo, or oh shit, it's turn 6 or 7, we're completely stacked out, but I have a win con I can pull out in that time if I'm receiving you right. Okay, I feel that. I think that answers Josh's question. One thing that I want to add this on as well. Well, no, I think you hit it perfectly, bro. Yeah, it's a lot of layered combos, but of course you got the old faithfuls, like the nice and simple ones, make infinite mana and then drop the infinite mana in one of your outlets, and or just fucking beat people in the face. So and and
one of the people that you can
go ahead. Oh yeah, and also to his other point about the Delney, this one is the new Delney Streetwise Lookout. This one, I actually hear what you're saying, Josh. So Delney Streetwise Lookout is a human scout and says creatures control with power 2 or less can't be blocked by creature with power 3 or greater. No one cares about that. What they really care about is if an ability of a creature you control with power 2 or less triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. So the reason people will want to run it in decks like Najeela is because Najeela is Najeela is a creature with 3/2, but it's great with I wish it was a 2/2 at this point, but it's great because with Dockside and Esper Sentinel and all the other things, you can basically get additional triggers, or even, for example, Ragavan. And this is all great, but if you are already doing a great job of what you're already doing, the question that comes up is Delney being a win more line because my Dockside was already doing good enough. My Ragavan or my Esper was already doing good enough. Why do I need to take out another good card in order to support it? And I think this is where my answer to that is, I think for instance, for cards like Delney, I think we just got to play test them. Like the biggest thing that comes to my head is the One Ring. Like, I don't know if y'all remember it. I'm gonna call myself out. I felt very mid about One Ring. The One Ring when it first came out, I was saying like, it's great if you have Seaborn Muse, but if you're not running Seaborn Muse, I don't know if this is very good. Until I saw somebody play with it. And of course they did the Seaborn Muse, but I was like, this card is just generically good because being able to go from 1 cards to 2 to 3 cards to 6 cards to 10 cards is just busted across 4 turns if you get a turn 1 ring down, which is not as hard as if people may think with the amount of ramp we have. So I say all this to say, I think Delney is a card that we just got to play test as a community to see how good it is. Like, of course, it's better if it synergizes with your commander. Like I bring up, for example, Sisay Weatherlight Captain. It's great at that point. No, that's an activated ability. Since it's an activated ability, but Kinnan, triggered ability. What's a triggered ability commander?
So there is. Let me think. Well, it's not power 2 or less.
No, it's only power 2 or less.
Yeah.
I think it's more hitting the staple pieces like Lotho and things like. I guess, for example, Lotho. Thank you. I just said my own. Lotho, for example.
You're welcome.
If you're if you're running Lotho, for example, I can see in the universe where you throw Delney in there to even help you ramp harder, even though it may feel a little one more. So I think we just got to test it out as a community. Joshua says she pairs well with a lot of cards you run in Najeela. Plus, it makes the 1/1s unblockable. True, that's good.
There's a deck that I want to run it in. Sephiroth of the Hidden Ways. Because it triggers all your enter the dungeon things twice. It says it triggers once each turn, but it gets copied from Delney. So
because it's a 2/3. I like this. You know what? This also it also reminds me of what Josh just said as well, because he said Delney plus some Moot is nasty as well. Like that's another like legendary. Granted, it's not, you're not gonna run Moot as a commander, but like another legendary creature that's just doing nutty things because it's the 2/3. Because every time this creature can, like it basically says whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, if that creature enters the battlefield this turn, draw a card, which is crazy because now when Najila triggers with Samut, now it triggers when Samut triggers with the Najila warriors, now it triggers twice. So is it win more? I don't know. I think we gotta test it as a community. I think go ahead, brother. Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't understand the difference between win more and value because in a lot of situations,
that's deep. Go ahead.
Nah, because value, if you play Delney, it depends on what situation you're in. If you play Delney when you have like Justin Jill on board, at that point it's value. But if your deck is already functioning well enough and you don't need it to win, then it's different. But like, it really depends on the situation. Because
I think I really love what you said. The difference between win more and value. Like I think value is. There's good enough reasons to run cards that are just generically good, and I think that's why the One Ring is good, because even without Seaborn Muse, it's generically good. And I'm not saying Delney's the One Ring yet. I think we need to play test it, because I also think about a card, Smothering Tithe. It's a card that we all knew was good, but we didn't know how generically good it was. Okay, it pretty much is busted with, for example, Marnie's Calgar. But then let's just bring up, why is Blue Farm running Smothering Tithe now? Why is pretty much every white deck in the format who can run a card like Smothering Tithe running it? It's because it's just generically good. Like the concept of it. Let's go Smothering Tithe real quick. The concept of Smothering Tithe basically saying whenever an opponent draws a card, which we're in a drawing meta because we're in this mid-range hell or this mid-range apocalypse, or however you want to call it, this mid-range haven, I guess. Whenever an opponent draws a card, that player may pay 2. If that player doesn't, you create a treasure token. It's just busted. It allows you to get this out on turn, maybe like turn 1 to 3, and just be fueled for the entire game. And it's a must remove or must counter spell. So I think Delney's in the same camp, not of power level because we don't know yet, but I think we just gotta try it out. We have Josh O says, I got one I will play test with it. I just don't know how it's gonna run. Yeah, it's tough, man. I really think it's either gonna be, it's 2 possibilities. Either it's gonna be like just become a staple in cEDH, or it's gonna be like mid in most cEDH decks and crazy in a couple decks, like Lotho. Like if the commander has power 2 or less, I think it's going to be just nutty, you know what I'm saying, especially if it has a triggered ability. Joshua also says, want to know my problem with Delney? It is an auto clone. Everyone who doesn't / can't run it will clone it and abuse it better than you. You know what? He's not wrong. You're right. I was saying in addition, that's also the problem. I dealt with Rionia. In my Rionia Fire Dancer deck. Rionia is, if you all are not familiar with Rionia Fire Dancer, basically what Rionia is the best thing to clone. I had a game, Rionia Fire Dancer. It's a human wizard at the beginning of your combat step. Create X tokens that are copies of another target creature you control, where X is 1 plus a number of instances of sorceries you've cast this turn. They gain haste. Exile them at the beginning of the next end step. Basically, what I found with this deck is a mono red, call it turbo mid-range deck, depending on how you brew it and how you play it. The problem I found with it though is once my opponents figured out how good it was, they would clone my Rionia and make copies of their dock sides, make copies of all of their creatures that were already busted, and went crazy. My biggest example is I was in a top 16 game. Not a top 16 game. We were fighting to get into the top 16. It was the last round of, I think, was it Chaos or Mox Masters? But it was me, Temujin, another Tivit player, and someone playing TNK. I forgot the brother's name. He's really cool. But basically, it gets to the other Tivit player's turn. The Dranth had just been moved. I'll tell him if I removed the Dranth and I didn't hold up my Tabal's Trickery, and we just finished an epic counter war of like 5 to 10 counter spells, like no, it was like 10 to 15. I'm lying, like 10 to 15 counter spells. And this Tivit player, because they have a Smothering Tithe, just goes ham and is able to pay for all the fucking counter spells they got. And I think they had a fish too to gas them up earlier, so they had some way to have like a lot of mana and cards. And then we get down to the last card in his hand. His last card was what's that vehicle clone effect, brother?
Imposter Mech.
Thank you, Imposter Mech. I have my Rionia on board, and everyone's out of counter spells, and he's in the last card of his hand. He has Tivit on board, and he casts Imposter Mech, and I'm wondering, what is he gonna do? This man clones my Rionia and goes to combat, dude, and then makes 5 to 10 Tivits, and then just wins. It was the most stupidest thing. Like, are you serious right now? And that's the tough thing about these cards. That's the tough things about these cards that are just so generically good, that because we're in this clone meta right now, it's like people are just going to use them and be better at using them than we can, because like I'm constricted by mono red, but if you give Tivit a Rionia, now they're just blowing up across the earth. So it's tough. It is really tough to like have to accept that sometimes, you know, the cards you use can be used against you. I think the powerful thing to remember is at the end of the day that as long as it works for you and does what you want to do, I think you can't too much think about what other people are going to do with the card, because then you'll get in your own head and it'll cause you to play suboptimally, because you'll think, well, if I cast my Rionia this turn, then someone can clone it. They have to have the clone in hand. In addition, they have to choose to commit to the Rionia clone and also storm off and do all the crazy things without 3 other players interacting or not silencing or doing something else in this turn. So I think Delney has potential. Try it out. I think you should try it out, brother. We got Joshua saying, he says Delney is Bowmasters 2.0. Yeah, we gotta see it. We gotta see it. If it being legendary is cool because it can't make multiple clones of it, but because that would be fucking nutty. But the fact that it, go ahead, brother.
I think Bowmaster 2.0 is pushing it a little bit. The reason Bowmaster cloning is so good is because you killed the original one, and now you're the only one with one.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, that's true. I want to see what happens with it, because as you all know, I'm running a Tasker list right now, but I still have a Marnie's list, and I want to know if Delney's going to be that good. You know what though? Do you know what card is actually really, really busted? Well, the potential is busted. Have you seen that new Flash creature?
You will have to be a little bit more specific than that.
Okay. Let me go to advanced real quick. It has Flash.
Is it from what's it from?
It's Karlov Manor. It's the very new one. It is a spirit.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it is. Its color is blue.
Yeah.
It is. Final Word Phantom.
Yeah.
While we got you on here, Kaia, how you feel about Final Word Phantom?
It's definitely a card. I don't really know how I feel about it yet because I haven't had a chance to play it.
Yeah.
But I think I think it has potential. I don't think it's like I don't think it's crazy, but I think it definitely can be pretty good.
Yeah.
It essentially in like let's say you're playing Blue Farm, right? It turns your Imp Seal into another Vampiric Tutor. It turns your Demonic Tutor into better Demonic Tutor.
Right.
It essentially.
Go ahead, brother. Yeah,
it makes all of your tutors better because you can hold up mana to other stuff.
Yeah. I think right now, I don't know why Wizards is doing this, but this is not like they just got done printing Born Upon the Wind, and now they're giving us Final Word Phantom. I think we're going to enter, and my hypothesis is we're going to enter a Flash meta where similar to, not Flash, but similar to the card Flash, where people are just going to be winning on top of each other even more than they already are. And I think with the inclusion of Born Upon the Wind, Emergent Zone, and Final Word Phantom, you have no reason to present a sorcery speed win unless you're winning during combat. At this point, like even I even heard, I think it was Comedian MTG saying you can cast this spell past turn. On the turn before yours, cast your Underworld Breach and then untap with that much more mana to be able to do, because if it's Underworld Breach sacks at the beginning of combat and this zone if you cast Underworld Breach during combos, during the end step, similar to Dress Down, it'll stay around until the beginning of your end step. So having that extra mana, in addition, being able to pop off a tutor in the upkeep to be able to to set up for like whether you need a LED or a Wheel of Fortune or a Brain Freeze to finish off the breach line is, I think it's going to support the already here mid-range game plan that we're experiencing, the mid-range meta we're in. People are going to be fine passing turn. Like they'll have a turn 3 or 4 win. They're saying, no, I'm going to win turn 3 to 5 because I can set up a guaranteed win, not a flimsy win. Like, no, this is going to be a guaranteed flash speed win. And there's no debates or anything about it. Mid Joshua says, seems kind of mid for 3 mana. I think it will go in some decks, but not many.
I think kind of mid is a little bit crazy. It's definitely a good card. It's just like,
I don't think. Go ahead, finish what you're saying, brother.
It's definitely a good card, and it'll go in like. I know a bunch of decks that would love to run this. Like Warvar would love this card because it lets you make more clones of stuff on people's end steps because you get to run the cards because a lot of the twiddle type of effects that aren't run are sorcery speed. But with this card, it makes them all a lot better because and also a lot of clones are sorcery speed, so you'd be able to do a lot more with that.
I'll think this. I've played against a lot of great Orvar pilots lately. I've actually got I've been getting my butt whooped by Orvar a lot more lately than in the past. Like a while back, Orvar wasn't doing shit. Lately, they just been kicking my butt.
Orvar went up. I don't know what happened.
It's either the pilots are gotten better, or it's the the card selection has gotten better. But they're all still running these old cards. But I don't know if they're going to start running more sorcery speed. But I think their ability to win at instant speed is just going to increase the deck's power level. So I don't think the card is mid. I just don't think it's an auto include like Born Upon the Wind. Like I'm right now, like with my tasker list. I am not running Born Upon the Wind, not because it's bad, but because I want to solidify my core of cards and then add Born Upon the Wind and Emergent Zones as support ways in order to enhance what is already there. And so I'm just finding the core cards I want. But I'm looking at Final Word Phantom and looking like maybe not in my Tasker, because my Tasker is kind of more leaning kind of similar to your deck where it's kind of turbo mid-range. But this Final Word Phantom, like in like if you're doing like solid mid-range where like you're not trying to win fast, I think this is a great card because by the time you present the win, you're going to be sitting on so much resources. You can literally go Final Word Phantom and just pass. And then you have the win in hand, whether it's just the simple Thassa's Consultation, Thassa's Tainted Pact. You can just win on top. Like you can literally just present the win on the end step before when someone does the intuition pile. You know what I'm saying? I think it's solid.
Yeah, you don't even have to cast and pass. It also has flash. So you can cast it and your full combo in someone's end step, and there's really nothing they can do about it.
Yeah.
So
I think the only part that's going to, and I say this loosely, suck is you only get flash during your opponent's end steps. So I will kind of amend my statement of you win on top of somebody else, because you can, like if they're doing end step shenanigans where they're like, oh, I'm gonna intuition.
Born Upon the Wind. Use like 30 life in a Necropotence draw. Billions.
Well, not Necro, because Necro you only get those cards at the beginning of your end step. Well, no.
No, actually, you can cast them during your end step.
You're right. This allows you to win against Necro opponents decks who are doing Born shenanigans. Shit.
Yeah.
Tough. If they're doing Turbo, I don't know if this is good because the 3-man is crazy. But not crazy. It's just tough. But if they're doing Born Upon the shenanigans like turn 3 to 6. I can see, depending on what your start is. I'm very interested. I think, I'm gonna be honest, I'm more bullish on Delney than this, but not because this is bad, just because our conversation on Delney has been very kind of got me hyped about it, and I kind of think it's alright. Like I think it makes it makes our staples better, like Esper Sentinel, Ragavan, Orcish Bowmaster. It makes Dockside. It makes all our staples better. I want it to be good, but Final. I love flash speeds. I love when you have instant speed. It's just tough, but yeah, I like Final Word Phantom. So yeah. With that being said, going back to Lonis though, like I'm not seeing any instant speed shenanigans. Talk to me about that.
I mean, I really haven't had a chance to test them yet because they haven't really been something that's been on my mind.
I feel
So,
it. I feel
but
it.
yeah, it's really not something that like. I mean, War of Invention, you can load with Extruder on other people's turns, but
True. That's true.
yeah, but other than that, there like really isn't any. But
Yeah,
yeah,
you don't particularly need
yeah,
the
yeah,
oh, that's where if you have enough mana, you can go Whirl of Invention, or not even mana. You just fucking improvise.
artifacts.
You tap
You can
you do the extruder combo or whatever other artifact combo you want to do just to make infinite on top of what everybody do. So you can, I guess, for this deck, you don't pressingly need an Emergent Zone or a Born Upon the Wind or the amazing meta breaking final world. What is this? Final word Phantom. Yeah, that's a tongue twister a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, brother.
I also have another deck that after I'm gonna test it, I'm gonna send it to you so you can tell me what you think about it because it's definitely something.
Okay. Hey, please send it to me. Like, before we move into some gameplay, because I would love. Hopefully, you have some time available. We're gonna take a small break, and then we're gonna open a pod and start some gameplay because we gotta show. We can't just tell people about the deck. We gotta show people it in action. You know, we want to see some turn 2 wins. So I want to see some deep mulligans. I want to see some crazy content. I want to see the spice. But a few cards before I let you go. Oko, Thief of Crowns. Right before the audio went out, we didn't get to talk about Oko. Usually this card is seen in more mid-range decks. Granted, you are touching a little bit of mid-range, but what does this card do for you outside of the interaction point?
So it can make you more artifacts that you can tap for mana, and with Academy Factor, it's more clues.
Gotcha.
It's basically removal for a lot of creatures with the plus
and the
one
ring.
Yeah, and the One Ring. I hate the One Ring. I love playing it. I hate playing against it. It's the worst, especially when I have like a really big Lonis, and then someone just plays the One Ring, and I can't hit them with it.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's definitely it feels bad, but yeah, it's mostly there for like the versatility because you can take people's Najila with it, which is really funny.
Yeah. Josh is like, don't touch my fucking Najila.
It can also get back let me do the it can get back every creature in the deck except for Extruder if someone else has one. Like if someone gilded your creature, you can get
back
all of them back.
What do you wait? Where's
with the -5, you can give them something, and you can get back all your creatures if they get like taken with Gilded Drake or something like that.
Oh, exchange control target artifact or creature you control with target creature opponent controls with power 3 or less. Okay, yeah. The toughest thing I'll say I've always seen about this card is it's cool if you. I like it if you have a combo within your deck, and it's just generically good because it's the epitome of like. I'm surprised they didn't ban it in Commander because it's kind of we've talked like the committee have always talked about the spirit of Commander. That's the reason why cards get banned, and this being able to just hit your Commander and turn it off is like, is this against the spirit of Commander? But I love this card. The toughest part about it is just it's a Planeswalker, and right now we have a lot of non-creature counters in the meta. But I think if you get this down early enough, or use your words when it comes to politicking to say like, hey, this is not the spell we want to fight about. We need to turn the Kinnan off, or turn the Najila off, or turn the Sisay off, because they're gonna win in the next turn or two because they just tutored twice already this turn. So.
Sure. Yeah.
And we have Josh O saying, I heard people who touch her.
I'm gonna take you on a Najila and I'm gonna beat you up with
it. Y'all better leave Josh O's Najila alone. Don't touch Josh O's Najila now. Last cards we have. I don't think we got to talk about Arcbound Ravager. This is oh my gosh, you played this card in Kitchen Table. It is a 2-mana artifact beast, sack an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on Arcbound Ravager. Modular 1, this creature enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it because it is a 0/0 innately. When it dies, you may put its +1/+1 counters on target artifact creature. Talk to me.
So it's basically just another free artifact sock outlet. It doesn't really do much other than that.
Okay.
There's a couple of situations, like if you have a walking ballista on board, you can sack you can sack all your clues and then sack it to itself, put the counters on a walking ballista, and then shoot someone for like 20. So it's
Got you.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
that's just generically good.
yeah, it mostly functions as a free sack outlet for clues. There's not really too much outside of that.
No, yeah. Sack, like when you know that's part of your combo, that's just generically good. Let's see. I'm not seeing any chain of vapor, but I'm not mad at that. You don't want someone to bounce your own commander, and plus, I think you got the Pongify that does you good work already. We've talked about Agatha Soul briefly about Agatha Soul Cauldron. Of course, you can do shifty stuff like so in Saxter Ranger, you Agatha Soul Cauldron and give all your make all your creatures Ranger captains and sack them if you want to. Especially because you have the Ozlith, you can keep all the counters to keep the shenanigans going. Are there any combos in this deck outside of infinite mana into Kinnan with Agatha Soul Cauldron?
Yeah, you can. In a lot of situations, you will have a bunch of counters on all your creatures. You can exile your own walking ballista underneath it, and they all become walking ballistas. So you can just remove all the counters from that and just kind of go ham.
Shit. So
yeah,
that's just another win con where you can make your walking ballista 0/0, make infinite counters, Agatha Soul Cauldron it away, and then now the infinite counters on your Lonis and the Lonis copy now become a machine gun, and so now that's a way to get around the what am I trying to say, the not having haste, the summoning sickness. Yes, that I love that, dude. I love that. Okay, let's see, and
I think we talked about pretty much everything.
Yeah, I think we good, brother. Is there anything else that we Carpet of Flowers. It's a hit and miss card, but if it's working for you, brother, keep playing it. We've talked about the land base. I think we've talked about everything. If you all are interested in this deck list, it will be linked in the bio, and we're gonna get these views up and get these likes up on this deck because I really like this deck because I love combo in the command zone. I literally do not leave home without the idea and just the concept of combo in the command zone. I have to have it. It eases my heart that I know that I can draw one card and win the game if I'm in a pinch, or tutor one card and win the game. It brings my heart joy. So with that being said, before we let you go, man, like do you have any social media you want to shout out, or any place that people can find you and ask questions?
I mean, I don't really have like social media for Magic the Gathering or anything like that.
You good?
Like, if you have questions like about the deck, you can just DM me on Discord.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna change my my Moxfield username to the same one as my Discord, so it's just easier that way. But if you have questions about it, you can either like put them in the comments of the deck on Moxfield, I'll respond there, or you can just like DM me. So
yeah. And if y'all are not familiar how to do it, it's pretty simple to add the comments. You just go here and click, and now you can post a comment, whatever you want. So if this is a deck you love, if Lonis Genetics Expert is what you think is just your jam, y'all check out this deck. Thank you so much, Kaia, for being on this deck tech. We are going to move into some gameplay soon, but before we move into gameplay, I want to say thank you all for being a part of this first part of the stream. If you are on Twitch, make sure you follow and make sure you have the notification bell on. Like, how you gonna know when I'm streaming? I'm streaming every Saturday at 8 p.m. at 8:30 p.m. But how you gonna know when I get on my lives? And if you're on YouTube, same thing. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, do the thing. It's a great way to support the channel that doesn't cost you any money. But if you just say, TTC, I love what you're doing, dude, like you are really like killing the game with this Magic the Gathering content, and you want to support me in different ways, we have a multitude of ways to do it. First way is our ThunderConductor proxies, a way to get access, my ways to increase access to this amazing format called cEDH. You can have the order form, link in the bio. We also have our Patreon. First of all, the Discord community is open for all to join, but if you want deeper access to the Discord, as well as additional perks like having your deck featured on the stream and other things that just gets more to allow you to be more a part of this amazing community that we're building, the ThunderConductor community, check us out on Patreon. Shout out to our first Patreon, Mr. Dre. you the one, man. I really appreciate the subscription onto the Patreon. It really means the world and allows me to do what I'm doing on this platform, both on YouTube and on Twitch. And lastly, if you say like, look, T, like I don't want no subscription, I don't want no Discord, I don't want no proxies. I just want to say, just for one time, for the fun time, you cool, and I want to just drop you a dime. Like, all right, for sure. Like, check me out, link in the bio. You can just buy me a cup of coffee. It helps keeps the lights on. It helps keeps us doing what we're doing, which is creating Magic the Gathering content and having a blast doing it. And it's so cool that we get to meet awesome people like Josh O and Kaia and just the rest of the MCG community. They're all amazing people, and I want to make sure I can continue to share them with you all. So with that said, we're going to dip out for now, but I want y'all to be easy, be great, and I will see y'all in a second for this gameplay.